Good morning. Welcome to LC Guitars. It is 7 a.m. local time on April 23rd, and today we are going to start a one-day guitar build. We're going to attempt, this is the first time I've ever attempted this, go through within the same day and build a 6-string electric guitar. It is going to be a Super Strat style body. 24 fret. We're going to be doing a carved top with a nice half-inch thick piece of flamed walnut. Going to be using about 1 3/8 piece of roasted alder for the body. Very lightweight. Going to be installing a hip shot contour trim, hip shot locking tuners, some Spurzle strap locks, some DiMarzio pickups. This will be the DiMarzio Mojo and the DiMarzio PAF Joe. Both Joe Satriani series pickups, really good sounding pickups. Some various other parts I like to use. I'm going to be using the Allied Lutherie double expanding truss rod, some carbon fiber rods for the neck, give it a little bit extra stability. The neck blank I'm going to be using is actually a piece of recycled scrap lumber off of one of my bass guitars. Whenever you cut the back out for the bass guitar, it gives you this piece here, which will be used for the neck. It is roasted maple with 2 ebony strips down through the middle of it. Going to be using an ebony fretboard. A nice solid piece of ebony for the control cavity cover on the back. Going to be doing a new idea I had for recessing the control knobs. You'll see this more in detail when we actually do it, but basically we're going to be adding a plate through the control cavity and then recessing the knobs down through the top of the body, similar to what this is. We have our templates. This is going to be what I use for the actual neck from here down. Going to be putting my headstock on top of it in a reverse pattern. Going to be using various body templates. This will be for the tremolo recess, and then the actual body shape is going to be kind of a Super Stratish style body shape with the 2 humbucker pickups. So to get started, our first thing we want to do, and I tell my students whenever they're in classes for this, probably the most important part of any guitar build is establishing your center lines and sticking to your center lines. If you get your neck out of place a little bit, you get your pickups out of place a little bit, the strings won't line up over top of them. Things won't line up. So we're going to start off by making sure we have our center lines. We're going to do our body first to get the top glued to the bottom back of the guitar. Once we get that done, we're going to move over to our neck and get it truss rods installed, get the carbon fiber installed, and get the fretboard glued on. Once that's done, we'll move back to the body, get all of our routing done, get all of our shaping done, and I want to try to get this thing into finish as quickly as possible, get it sanded so that I can get a couple coats of a clear lacquer put on it with a satin finish. Okay, so zoomed in here a little bit, we're going to find the center line of this body blank, which is right there, and then right here. So when you have a multi-piece body and you glue it up, you want to try to get everything where the center line pretty much disappears. So I like to offset it, and this is just a little tiny, maybe about 1/2 millimeter of an offset of a slip joint here. So it lets you find the body line a little bit easier. is your center line. Line up on both sides and draw that out. Nice and dark. So, roasted alder. Alder is a very common wood for guitar bodies. Fender used it a lot. This is a roasted version, extremely lightweight and very stable once it is roasted. So, gives us a pretty good platform to work from. So you want to line the bottom of up on the center line
and the top on the center line. Now, when I cut this up, to begin with, just for the glue up, I'm going to keep it a little bit away from the edge. So I'm going to hold the lead pencil down on here, hold it basically straight up and down, which is going to give me about 1/8 of an inch over the size of the body. I'll go the whole way around it. And that is our shape. We'll do the same thing on the top.
Find our center line. Now this top has a couple defects that I want to try to work around. It had 2 little shakes in it that I drew out here in pencil just to show kind of where they're at, so that I don't put the any part of the body over top where those are at. They would be dimensionally fine on the guitar since it is getting glued to another top, but just a piece that I really don't want in the finished product. Center line drawn on. Walnut can be a little bit tricky to see pencil line. I have used a white pencil in the past, but I can't find it, so we're not going to use a white pencil. Get our center line.
Line back up. Trace the outline.
Alright, we're at the bandsaw. Got a light set up here to help see that line a little bit better. I'm going to be kicking on the dust extraction here. But basically what we're going to be doing is going around the line, staying a little bit outside the line. We don't need to be heroes on this. We don't need to get it right up to the line. Even though it is a little bit oversized, we still want to just give ourselves plenty of room so that we don't cut it too short. Always measure twice, cut twice, measure once, one of those things. one body, one top cut out. So after cutting this out, you can see with the bandsaw, you get a little bit of fuzzy edges around there. If you try to clamp that up with that fuzz there, it'll actually push your joint apart a little bit. So just going to go over it with a palm sander, tiny little bit. We should be good. Turn on some dust collection here, and we'll sand this down. Just a little bit of paper and we've got this for you. Alright, so we're back over here on the table getting ready to glue the body on. We got it sanded, just a little of those fuzzy edges off. Next thing I want to do is get an alignment done on this. Make sure that everything lines up well. Make sure I don't go in too deep. Piece of tape on the drill bit, and then we're going to drill right in the center of the pickup cavities.
Small bit.
A little bit of a countersink. Now when we put this back together with glue in between there, this will help align it and will clamp the center down nice and tight for us. So we can take our clamps off.
Get the screws back out. And the countersink. Just to clean up any little wood fibers that might get stuck in the joint. And this will all get routed out once we get everything glued up. So we're almost ready to glue up. I'm going to use the template.
And we are glued up. It is now 12 after 8. So I like to find a little spot on here and actually write the time that the glue up was done. So 8:12 a.m. That just lets me know that in an hour or so that we're good to take the clamps off. So